Hey guys, welcome back. So the first thing I wanted to say for this video is that I receive a lot of comments sometimes, especially when the markets are doing crazy movements, when we have parabolic movements down or up or crazy things are happening. Many people asking me to please update, please do an urgent video, update what's going on, should we take profit, what's happening with EOS, please make a video. So guys, not because you ask me to make updates, it means I'm going to do updates more often, okay? This is an educational channel, so the whole purpose of my channel is that you learn the techniques and then you'll be able to make decisions by yourself. I don't give signals. I mean, I give targets sometimes, are my own personal targets, but it's not, you can use them or not, but the whole point of this channel is that you learn and then you can make your own decisions. I don't work for anyone. I'm not going to be doing updates every 5 minutes or every time something happens. The whole point of this is that you learn and so that you can do it yourself, okay? I update as often as I can because I love doing it, because I look at the charts for myself anyways, so I enjoy sharing it on YouTube, but I don't do it as an obligation. You should be able to do it by yourself if you have been following my channel for some time now. Then even with that, if you don't know what to do in some situations, in all my videos I always show my lines. For example, here for EOS, I have these lines here. These lines have been here for more than 1 month. Every single line of this, since I bought EOS for first time down here, I put my targets here. You can see TGT means target, and these black lines have been set here for more than a month. These are my targets, and my targets haven't changed. And if you see the numbers here, the prices in big, I put them in big just so that you guys on YouTube can see the numbers clearly. If it was just for me, I would keep the numbers small, like at the default size, just like everybody else has in YouTube. But the reason I do it in big is so that you guys can see the numbers clearly and you can set the lines exactly as I have them here. So if you don't do that, if you don't copy my lines, then don't ask me every 5 minutes to update, because it's very easy. Just go back to my videos and set the lines exactly as I have them, okay? Since we were done here, I put these lines here, and these lines have been working perfectly since the beginning. Every line has been resistance, then the one down, it's been support, and then once the line's been broken, we went to the next resistance, then bounce back down to the support, then once it's broken, we go back up, we go up to the next resistance, then it bounces off down to the support, and once this line is broken, I expect it to go to the next target up here. So I haven't changed these lines since I put them here a month ago or maybe more now. So if I don't change the lines, if I don't say on YouTube my targets have changed, it means they haven't changed. So instead of asking me, just go back to my videos. Do something on your own. You know what I mean? Don't expect someone to be online every 24/7 to tell you to repeat the exact same targets over and over. Just go ahead, be a little bit proactive and set the lines on your chart yourself. I'm making it easy for you guys to see the numbers here in big. Just do something on your own. All right? So nothing changed, for example, in my chart for EOS. And I'm showing EOS as an example but for any other chart where you see my targets, you will see the numbers in big. Just set the lines as I have them if you want to follow, my targets. Even with that, I said I'm not selling, or I only bought on the lows and I'm just holding. But if you want to take profits, it's perfectly fine. But don't ask me every 5 minutes. Just go back and look at the targets. Or even better, the first day that you see the target, just set them up the same way, and then you will have them there forever, and you will see how they work perfectly. They always act as a support and resistance. All right? Okay. Next point. Now, I have been always comparing all the altcoins versus Bitcoin instead of versus US dollar, and the reason is I said this 1,000 times as well, but I'm going to repeat it one more time. So long as Bitcoin is uptrending, which means so long as Bitcoin is going up versus the dollar, okay, it means that if you pick an altcoin that is going up versus Bitcoin, I'll show this one. It means if you pick an altcoin that is going up when traded versus Bitcoin, for example, this is EOS versus Bitcoin. If EOS is going up versus Bitcoin, it means you're making more dollars by holding EOS than by holding Bitcoin. All right? Because if Bitcoin is going up versus the dollar, but EOS is going up versus Bitcoin, it doesn't take a lot of brains to see that you are making more dollars by holding EOS or any other altcoin that's going up versus Bitcoin. That was the whole point of doing technical analysis for the altcoins versus Bitcoin, not versus the dollar. Because if an altcoin is going up versus dollar but going down versus Bitcoin, then it means you're going to make more dollars by holding Bitcoin than not the other altcoin. I don't know why this point is very difficult for people to understand as well, because it's just pure common sense here. Now, Bitcoin has been going up versus the dollar for since forever. I'm gonna call it since we bounced on 3,000. Okay, because this was one full month going down here in September. When we touched 5,000, then it was almost one full month going down. So we cannot call this a bull market. This was a bear market for one full month. It's a long time, 1 month going down. When it comes to crypto, you don't want to be holding through this. But since we bounced on 3,000, we've been in an uptrend, Bitcoin versus dollar. So that's why it was good to compare altcoins versus Bitcoin. Because if you could find an altcoin that was outperforming Bitcoin, it means you're making more dollars by holding the altcoin and not Bitcoin. But now the situation changed. Bitcoin is going bearish. I said this 3 days ago. It was time to sell Bitcoin. I couldn't sell it because it's impossible to move it unless you have it already in the exchange. But that's a story for another video, I guess. The thing is, Bitcoin is going bearish now, and I'll tell you why. Bitcoin is going bearish and altcoins are not. So to back up this claim that I just made, I'm gonna have to compare other altcoins, right? To show how they are not bearish and Bitcoin is. So I'm gonna take, for example, Bitcoin Cash and EOS. Okay, so to be fair, okay, we need to compare all of them. If I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and then Bitcoin Cash and then EOS and show why Bitcoin is bearish and Bitcoin Cash and EOS are bullish, I'm going to have to compare the three of them versus the same pair, which is going to be the US dollar, because it's the standard. Okay, in this case, I cannot continue to compare the altcoins versus Bitcoin, because the purpose of this is to show how the altcoins are bullish versus dollar and Bitcoin is bearish or is going to bearish versus the dollar. So I need to compare them all versus the dollar to be fair, and I need to have them all within the same time frame, which is going to be the 1-day candles for all of them, because what's fair is fair, right? I cannot pick a different altcoin. I cannot pick a different time frame for one specific coin, because obviously what's an uptrend in one time frame, it can be a downtrend in a different time frame. So to be fair, I need to compare them all to the US dollar, and I need to compare them all to the same time frame, and I'm choosing the 1-day candles because I have a little bit more of long-term view, not long-term but medium term. Okay, I'm not a very short-term minded here. I prefer to have a little bit more of a medium to long term. So I'm gonna pick the 1-day candles for all of them. So what's the difference? Why I say Bitcoin is going bearish and altcoins are not? It's simple. There's a few clues you can see. The first is You can identify an uptrend when you see 1, higher highs and higher lows, 2, when the prices are above moving averages, and 3, the moving averages have to be uptrending, okay, trending up. So for Bitcoin, on the daily candles, like I'm gonna show all of them in the daily, we had a lower low here, so that's bearish. 2, we are not above moving averages. We are below the 20-day moving average. We're still above the 50-day moving average. So this doesn't make it 100% bearish. It's neutral, but it's neutral leaning to bearish. It's going into bearish. Okay, so we are not above the we are above the 50-day moving average, but below the 20-day moving average. We had a lower low here, and the moving averages are starting to go flat. They are not trending up. They are not pointing up. If you see, they're going flat right now. Okay, so they are not downtrending and they are not completely flat. That's why you cannot say this is bearish. This is neutral leaning to bearish. Let's see the difference with Bitcoin Cash, for example. Bitcoin Cash, we don't have, again, I'm in the same time frame. Okay, what's fair is fair. We don't have any lower low or lower high yet. We're still up here, way above the previous low, and this one was higher than this previous one here. Okay, the price is above both moving averages. Okay, very bullish, and both moving averages are what? Pointing up. They are trending up. So this is 100% bullish. You cannot go against this trend. This is super bullish, and Bitcoin is not. And now EOS, I'm just taking these 3 as an example, but you can use the exact same, the exact same concept to compare with any other altcoin. If you have other favorite altcoins, just go ahead and look at these clues for your own altcoin. Okay, I'm just taking these 3 as examples, but this is the basics of technical analysis. It works for any chart, for any asset, in any time in history. Okay, it's the same rules. The same rules apply for any chart of any asset at any time in history. So that's the point, that the things that you should learn, so you don't need to be expecting me to update. Just learn these basics, and then you'll be able to recognize an uptrend or a downtrend. So this is EOS again versus the US dollar, 1-day candle, and the same as I just said for Bitcoin Cash. We don't have, well, here we had a lower low here compared to this one, although the wick of the candle is lower than the wick of this candle, so this is kind of neutral. But the prices are above both moving averages, and both moving averages are trending up perfectly, pointing up. It seems it could start going flat, but it's not really. It's perfectly uptrending. So that's how you recognize an uptrend or a downtrend, or in other words, bullish market or bear market. So by this definition, Bitcoin is neutral leaning to bearish for first time since this low here at 3,000. It started to go bearish, but I cannot say the same for most of the altcoins now. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance here, is dropping by the minute. So Bitcoin dominance is all the way down now to 44.3%. Not long ago it was up at 63%. It was slightly uptrending for some time here, but now this uptrend changed, reversed it, and it's going down. The reason why this is happening, it's because of the fundamentals. It's been proven over and over and over that Bitcoin cannot be used for anything. It cannot be used for trading unless you have it in the exchange and you're willing to lose at any time. If you have it in your wallet, you cannot trade it because you will never have time to send it to the exchange in time to sell it for a good price. So you cannot trade it, you cannot use it to buy things because obviously the fees are too big to buy anything, and basically you cannot transfer it because it takes days and the fees are exaggerated. So Bitcoin cannot be used for anything. It should not be called cryptocurrency anymore because it has none of the characteristics of a cryptocurrency. And the more people that realizes about this, the more dominance is going to be losing. So I expect this trend to continue. I expect Bitcoin to lose dominance faster and faster, and other altcoins go up in dominance. So in general, the message for this video is Bitcoin is starting to go bearish. So it's going to be better to hold anything but Bitcoin. And Bitcoin might continue to go up, might, the uptrend could continue. It might slow down, but it could continue to go up. But I think in general, altcoins are going to perform so much better than Bitcoin. And you can see that clearly by looking at any chart of any altcoin. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say any altcoin, not all of them. There's more than 1,000 altcoins. I don't look at every single altcoin, so I shouldn't say any altcoin, but I mean, I'm talking in general a little bit, the main altcoins. If you look at most of the main altcoins compared versus Bitcoin, so for example, this is EOS versus Bitcoin, the chart, you can see that it looks extra bullish compared to Bitcoin, okay? So it means it's going to perform, by probability, it's going to perform better than Bitcoin. So even if Bitcoin continues to go up in terms of dollars, most of the main altcoins are going to perform even better than Bitcoin, which means it's going to beat Bitcoin gains by making more dollar valuation. I hope this makes sense. Everything looks extra bullish when compared to Bitcoin, which means now is the time, like for example, what is this here? So from here to here, it was better to hold Bitcoin because Bitcoin was, if you see the dominance, Bitcoin was outperforming most of the altcoins. Therefore, the chart was uptrending for Bitcoin dominance. Okay, so from here, from the 20th of June up until recently, up until here, 6th of November, it was better to stay away from the altcoins, which is what I have been recommending on my channel all this time, and only hold Bitcoin because you're making more dollars than holding altcoins. But this changed in the first week of November, and Bitcoin dominance started to drop, and now it's dropping faster, and I expect this to continue to drop faster and faster. So since the beginning of November, so it's been a month and a half now or something like that, it was better to hold altcoins and not Bitcoin. And this trend just has started 1 month ago, so I expect this trend to continue and to actually get stronger. So guys, this is not my opinion. I'm not saying Bitcoin is bearish just because I want to say it. I am showing you how to recognize a bear trend or a downtrend, a bear trend or a bullish trend in any chart, in any asset, anytime in history. I'm showing Bitcoin because it's the case. Bitcoin is going bearish, but not because I wanted to go bearish. It's because the moving averages are telling you, the lower lows are telling you, and they are not telling you in other altcoins. So, it's just it's pure 100% technical analysis. This is not my opinion. It's like the first lesson you will learn in technical analysis, how to recognize an uptrend or a downtrend. Now you can do with this information whatever you want. And the last thing I wanted to comment on is EOS. EOS versus the dollar. I'm gonna start if Bitcoin actually goes bearish and the downtrend continues, which is very, very possible. I am 50-50. I'm not sure yet if it'll go up or down. I would say I'm 55 bearish that it's going to go down, and maybe 45 that's going to go up and recover and break the previous high. Right now, I'm almost 50-50. But I would lean a little bit more for the bear trend. I think this is the beginning of the uptrend. But of course, we're going to have a big bounce here because the volatility is big. So if you're thinking of taking profit, if you are able to actually move your Bitcoins, then be ready to sell it in a bounce. Don't sell now on this low, because that's the worst decision you could make. You need to wait for a bounce, because even if this is going to continue down, we're going to have a high here that it's likely to be a lower high compared to this one before we actually crash for good. So I would say that I wouldn't sell for anything less than 16,000. This is very likely to bounce to bounce off the 20-day moving average. So I expect a bounce to at least test the 20-day moving average as a resistance, and this one is likely to send the price back down. So, but that now is not the time to sell, of course. I mean, you know, wait for the bounce. If you're thinking of taking profit, don't sell now. It's very, very low. Wait for the bounce and sell at the highest of the next bounce. If you want to sell, I mean, and if not, you can hold. There's still probability that it's going to continue to go up. Like I just said, it's not like, you know, 90% probability that it's going to go down. No, it's almost 50-50 at this point. We need to see how this plays out, and if the moving average acts as a resistance and it sends the price down, then sell as soon as possible. But if the price goes above both moving averages, then the bull trend will be on again. So just wait for that. But what I wanted to say, back to this EOS, is EOS compared versus the dollar. It's completely bullish, because that's how, as I said before, how you define the bullish trend. You need to see higher highs and higher lows. Moving averages have to be uptrending, and the price needs to be above both moving averages. So this by definition is a bull trend. This by definition is an uptrend. But we need to be careful, because this is really overextended, and this crash is way too big. Like, this is a very decent crash. It's very possible we're gonna have a bull trap here and correct all the way down to $2, like something like that, like it happens in crypto. It goes up very fast, and then it takes some time to get to the bottom here. So it's possible we have this is the next fractal when it's gonna go down, and then very, very slowly a rounded shape all the way down to $2, which was this first breakout here. So be careful with that. EOS looks overextended. As I said, it's by definition, it's still a bull trend, so you would never want to short it, but be cautious, because it's been super overextended, and we've seen this in crypto so many times that it goes up parabolic, vertical, and then goes back down, like making a rounded shape, and then it's so slow down to back to the $2. So you don't want to be holding through a long and painful bear market that can last months and months, or even years sometimes. So be careful with that. I would for sure be taking profits at some point if I see that it's very probable we're going into a bear market for EOS here. So I would be updating for that. I'm talking about EOS versus the dollar, as you can see here. EOS versus Bitcoin is extra bullish. I expect this to break and go up here, but it doesn't matter what's doing versus Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin is tanking versus the dollar, it means this can be going up versus Bitcoin, but it can be going down very slowly versus the dollar. So everything seems to point to me that Bitcoin is going bearish, because altcoins are very bullish when traded versus Bitcoin, but some of them are showing like they could go bearish versus the dollar, which points that Bitcoin could really go bearish versus the dollar here. So be very careful with Bitcoin. Be very careful with everything really in these markets right now. The one that I'm still super bullish, and people is gonna think I'm emotional, and I'm saying that because I'm emotional and because I like Bitcoin Cash so much, and this has nothing to do with emotions, guys. Bitcoin Cash doesn't get any more bullish in both charts versus Bitcoin and versus the dollar. It just doesn't get any more bullish. Look at the moving averages pointing up perfectly. This is not overextended like EOS. Why? For the same reason I said for Bitcoin versus the US dollar when we broke the 5,000. We broke 5,000 vertical here, we consolidated, we broke out again here, and then we have a huge mega crash here, all the way back down to this, the level of this breakout. Why I was saying here, this is not the top. Why I was holding here, I didn't sell anything. Why? I said it, go back to the video, I said it, we just broke out. This is not high enough to be the top. We just broke out here and we just broke out here. We had a lot of consolidation here. This consolidation has just been broken. This cannot be the top. From here we need to go much higher to call the top. Why? Because we had too much consolidation very close from here. Okay, that's why. And I held through this, and I knew we were going, well, I shouldn't say I knew because you never really know, but looking at the chart and at the technical analysis, this was not likely to be the top because the previous long consolidation was just broken. It needs to go much higher. So the exact same thing is happening with Bitcoin Cash versus the dollar. This cannot be the top when we just broke out this huge consolidation here. This needs to go much higher before we can call the top and the bear market, because this consolidation, this is too much, too long, too much of a consolidation here to just be broken and then go into a bear market. It's just not how it works, okay? By probability, of course. But see the difference between Bitcoin Cash and EOS. EOS had a consolidation here, okay? Then it broke, a little bit of consolidation here, and then parabolic, like the real previous consolidation is all the way down here. We went up a lot, like more than 1,000% since then. So this can be the top according to technical analysis. It could, okay, much more probable than this. And I hope you see the difference. This is too much consolidation, too close from this high for this to be the top. So guys, I think I'm gonna leave the video here. I hope this is helpful. Don't freak out, don't sell on the lows. I wouldn't be buying Bitcoin at any point. To be honest, if I was to buy Bitcoin, I wouldn't buy dips. I would wait for confirmations. I would wait for daily candles to close above both moving averages before I enter a position on Bitcoin again. Although I don't like the fundamentals at all, so me personally, I'm not buying any more Bitcoin. Plus, most of the altcoins look more bullish than Bitcoin anyway. So if you want to make more dollars, you're better off by holding altcoins, not Bitcoin. But I mean, if you are a risky trader, many professional traders are more risky than me. I mean, it doesn't mean I play it the best way possible, but it depends on your risk tolerance. If you're a risky trader, you would have bought exactly at the moving average, because it was a very obvious support point here. So you would have bought at 11,000, and then you'd be on profit already. But I would for sure sell when touching the next moving averages, and I would not enter again until we actually close above the moving averages and we start making highs here. So, okay, guys, I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.